Hi, I'm Melissa Brown with Newmel Properties, and on today's final segment of this home construction maintenance amazing series that Mark Robertson and I have done, we are going to talk about home inspections. Now, we've worked together on quite a few of my buyers and sellers both needing some things done to go through the home inspection process. So I wanted to talk about how do we not freak out if you have a buyer, you get that 50-page home inspection.
Yeah.
What do we do? How do we decipher when to call you? Maybe some things that aren't that big of a deal. How do we go about that?
From the buyer side, I would say the first thing to do is not freak out.
Right.
Home inspectors are they serve a purpose and they're doing their job, but they're required by what they do to put everything that they find wrong with the house
Right.
on
To
that
be
home.
nitpicky.
Yeah, to be, and it could be as simple as a light switch cover being loose, or it could be something as major as foundation cracks and settlement issues.
Right.
So determining what's a major deal and what's not a major deal sometimes is kind of overwhelming,
Right.
especially when you get those home inspection reports on older houses that are, 20, 30, 40
Right.
pages long, and there's 50, 60, 75 line items on there. It can be very overwhelming. So I would say the first thing to do is lean on your realtor. He or she has more than likely seen a bunch of them.
Right.
And they're going to be able to help you kind of
Guide
decipher, okay, this is not a big deal, or this is a
Right.
big deal. And then call your, if you have a general contractor or a handyman or somebody like that, call them and ask them. I have a lot of people, I tell people all the time, you can just call me and ask me a question.
Right.
I'll answer
That's
it.
what I love about you.
Yeah.
All of my clients have really enjoyed that.
Yeah, just, if you know somebody like that, just call them and ask them, hey, this was on my inspection report. Is it something that, I need to, a lot of times I'll tell people, can you just shoot me a picture or send me an email?
Or send the inspection report.
Send the inspection report to me, and I'll just kind of go through it at, no charge. I don't mind,
Right.
just looking at it and giving you, hey, these are the items that I think you should be concerned with. And a lot, if you have a good contractor or handyman or something like that, they'll do that for you. It's not that big of a deal to
Yeah.
kind of go through it. But, I tell people, first and foremost, just don't panic. Kind of try to weed your way through it and figure out what's important and what's not important. And then it go from there and addressing the issues that you think need to be addressed.
Right. And I want to kind of touch base, so that was more on the buyer side. So let's kind of go over to the seller side. Sellers, I want to make sure that they know you can do an inspection before you list your home for sale. You're not required to do that, but I feel like it is pretty productive, and it kind of knocks out those little, hey, put that electrical plate back on, or hey, loosen this toilet seal, and things like that. What's kind of your take on it?
Home inspection reports can be done, like you said, before or after, by the seller, by the buyer, it doesn't matter. They're helpful, but just, I always tell sellers, you live in the house.
Right.
You live in it every day. You know what issues, whether you choose to ignore that because it's minor, or you can't afford to get it fixed, or you don't know how to fix it, you still know it's an issue. If it's an issue to you that you know,
Right.
it's going to show up on that home inspection report.
Right.
If there's a door in that house that doesn't latch properly or lock, if there's a sink drain that drips down the bottom and you just have a cup underneath it to catch it because you don't know how to fix it or haven't addressed it.
Not good, don't do that.
If you have sink stoppers missing, if you have outlet
Yeah.
covers missing, or outlets that don't work, or windows that won't stay up, you open them, they just fall down. All of that stuff's going to show up on the home inspection report.
You might as well just get it done. Knock it out.
And it's kind of twofold, figure out what you can fix yourself, or figure out what you're willing to get fixed before the inspection report, or be prepared as a seller
Right.
that all this stuff is going to come back on you
Right.
eventually.
Right.
And don't act surprised when the home inspection report comes back and it's, 30 pages long with
Yeah.
all this stuff on there. And you say, well, I've lived here for 10 years and it hasn't bothered me. Well, it's still a problem with the house, and
Right.
it still, to some people, needs to be addressed.
Exactly, and it's just a really great way to be productive to get it out of the way, and that way a buyer can come in and you're able to deliver a quality piece that you know has been maintained because you've watched our other home maintenance video series, and you want to make sure that you're delivering a good product to the next buyer. It just kind of gives that buyer that warm fuzzy feeling too, because then you can give them the inspection report that you had, the work that had been completed, and it shows that you care about your home also. So yeah. I think it's a really great idea. It's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, and it is. And it's a lot of times, you know, when you get home inspection reports done, or even if you don't want to get a home inspection report, if you know a contractor or a handyman or something like that, just have them come through. You know, they might do kind of the quick once over. You know, I've had people call me and I kind of go over there and say, hey, you know, I can hit on all the heavy hit items by the home inspectors and kind of knock them out real quick for you. Yep. And that way, you know, when the home inspector comes, all the nitpicky stuff isn't going to be on there. It's not going to show up. As contractors and handymen and home improvement people, you know, we've seen enough of them that we know what they're kind of looking for and not. So you can, and a lot of times it's simple stuff. You know, I can go in a lot of houses in one day and fix a multitude of items that aren't real expensive, but will save those line items, because, you know, a lot of people don't realize as buyers, people tend to freak out.
It's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming, and they freak out when they get to, you know, they found the house they want to buy, they get the home inspection report back, and it's, you know, a stack of papers like a book, and they freak out. They
think the house is falling in.
Yep. So as a seller, you want to protect yourself by not giving them that stack of papers. You want to give them 3 or 4 pieces of paper with some small items on there, and that's just preparation ahead of time. You know, if you know you're going to sell your house and you know you're going to list it and you know there's issues with it, start early. Start fixing you know, here or there, fixing what you can, or, you know, get somebody over to address the issues. You know, even before it goes on the market.
Yeah.
And that way, when it comes time for the home inspection, when you do have your contract and it does get inspected, it's not an issue. Right.
So keep it simple to recap. Sellers, you can get a home inspection ahead of time. Mark can handle everything for you. I highly recommend. And then for your buyers, don't freak out. It's okay. There will be nitpicky small line items on there that you don't have to worry about, that you can do yourself or you can hire someone to take care of. But definitely know when to consult the right person to call and take care of the major items that could be a concern. All right. Thanks so much, you guys, for watching. Mark, you've been a pleasure to have on here. I've really appreciated all of your information and time, and it's been a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks so much. Take care.